What's up guys, Tommy here, bringing you a Wi-Fi battle against someone called Warp. And as you can probably tell from the team previews here, we've both got some kind of pretty low NU tier stuff, as in, even within the tiers you have some stuff which is kind of considered overused within the tier, like Mesprit and Emboar for example. That's pretty much the one example of an overused thing in this game. And the lower stuff like Swanner, Wormadam Trash, we've both got a Lipod and we've both got a Guff of the Tail for some weird reason. Even seeing one of those is pretty rare, but having both on both teams, it's madness. I'm going to lead with my Guff of the Tail as he leads with his Ninjask, and you know, the fact that I frisk his Choice Band should have told me that he wasn't going to go for the sub as I originally thought. I guess I wasn't paying attention or something. I think I was like cooking at the same time as I was doing this game. So, you know, the chili con carne was slightly burnt, the game was slightly worse than it could have been, so worst of both worlds. But I did think it was a pretty interesting game, and I did think the chili con carne was reasonably good, so nevertheless, here we go. Here comes Pyrotoz. I'm going to go for Hidden Power Fighting, just to see how much it will do. Does around about half, so, you know, a decent amount of damage considering I have no special attack investment whatsoever. But he goes for Toxic. That is definitely not good to have on a wall, especially one like Guff of the Tail. So I decide to switch out, knowing that he'll probably want to switch to his own Guff of the Tail, who will completely wall mine, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my Wormadam Steel, Wormadam Trash, whatever you call it. And yeah, he does go into his own Guff of the Tail. So this does give me the chance to set up my Stealth Rocks, or go for a Toxic, or whatever. I think I end up going for both. And I have to say that this guy's Guff of the Tail set is really interesting. He's got the Tickle combined with the Psyshock. Now not only is it good because, you know, you reduce physical attackers' potential to damage you, but you're also reducing their defense and therefore increasing the power of Psyshock, so it's a pretty interesting combination. I might actually consider changing out one of my moves for Tickle, but yep, gonna poison him here, get up my Stealth Rocks. The T-Bolt doesn't really do much because I am specially defensive, and then the Psyshock will do a little bit more I guess, but it is resisted hit, so not all that much. But I go for a Signal Beam. It does more than his attacks are doing, I think, so I assume he's gonna want to switch out here into his Emboar. So I'm gonna predict that and go to my own Guff of the Tail. Now the one mistake I made with this game is the Emboar was always going to be a big threat because, you know, it can probably one-hit kill all of my Pokemon potentially. Not Guff of the Tail as long as it has full health, but obviously it doesn't now, so even Guff of the Tail's in danger. He probably could have killed me with a Flare Blitz from this kind of range, honestly, but I didn't think he'd want to risk it, but I go for a T-Wave anyway, just to see what he's going to do. I was really hoping he was a Choice Scarf set, so that he could, you know, lock himself into one particular move, and I could bring in a counter, but that's not the case. He has a Leftovers Flame Charge set, which is definitely the better set in my opinion, but in comes Lipod. I don't know if he predicted a T-Wave or a Psychic type move. Either way, Lipod's not going to take anything from it, because he has the Limber ability. And now he goes for a Fake Out on my Corsola, which is good because I get a bit of recoil damage on him with the Rocky Helmet. I changed out Leftovers for Rocky Helmet because I figured, well, Corsola gets Recover anyway, or, you know, you could always rest with the Natural Cure and just kind of switch out, which is equally good in my opinion, but yeah, I decided to stick the Rocky Helmet on. Seems to be working reasonably well, so I guess I'll keep it there. Now I predicted switch to Swanner here in case he wanted to come in and, you know, go for a Specs Hydro Pump or Surf or whatever it is that Swanner learns, I forget. I think like Surf, Ice Beam, Hurricane, and probably some kind of Hidden Power is the most likely moveset. But yep, anyways, he goes to his own Guff of the Tail and Power Gem doesn't do much. I'm going to switch to my own Guff of the Tail who can wall his one, so we got kind of a mirror image thing going on across the battlefield. But the one difference being, speaking of mirrors, I have the mirror coat, and it's going to retaliate back with double damage on his Psyshock, and that will take him out from that kind of range. So, Guff of the Tail's in here, not looking too healthy, but it does mean I get to scout whatever comes in, which is going to be his Probopass. I really should have seen this coming because he's now going to switch out to his Swanner, and, you know, absorb the Hidden Power Fighting like it's nothing. I guess, had I gone for T-Wave, that would have been the safer bet because, you know, obviously you can't Toxic a Probopass anyway, so may as well get that status on it. But yeah, Swanner takes nothing from the Hidden Power Fighting. I don't die from Poison, but I'm easy pickings for a Surf, although it does let me see what he's going to lock himself into, which I guess was an advantage of Guff of the Tail living there. But now I can go into Goblin, knowing that he's probably locked into Surf unless he's like Expert Belt or something, which I didn't suspect. Now here I should have gone for the Swords Dance as he brings in his Ninjask. I was kind of thinking he might bring in the Emboar, and I remember my mindset at the time was, he's going to bring in Emboar, I'm going to go for Brick Break, and then I'm going to go for Sucker Punch, and that'll kill him, right? Having looked back on it, I kind of think, well, Swords Dance Sucker Punch might have been equally good, if not better, so hey, who knows. Now I go into Corsola, thinking that rock resist bug. Apparently that is not the case, so Corsola is going to die to 2 X scissors. That Ninjask is seriously powerful. I really underestimated how powerful this thing is, especially with that choice band. Given its ridiculous speed, doesn't need the choice scarf, so yeah, I guess choice band is a really good set for this guy. So it leaves me with Wormadam to come in here, go for a signal beam, and I don't know why, but Wormadam seems to get more kills than most of my sweepers do, with the exception of Shiftry. But Wormadam, I kind of had a game a couple of games back where a guy switches in an Exeggutor on my Wormadam as I go for like a random signal beam. Not even predicting a switch into it, but I just go for a signal beam, and it just happens to OHKO this Exeggutor from full health. And this is a fully defensive Wormadam, so hey, don't mess with Wormadam. He'll tear you apart, let me tell you. But what will tear Wormadam apart is this incoming Flame Charge. 4 times super effective, and it lets him get his +1 speed, so I am very, very scared right now. It's an Emboar with +1 speed, and it can just tear through my team like it's nothing. Except Vinny here, who's going to take the Earthquake like an absolute beast. He said he went for Earthquake over Flare Blitz or Superpower because he didn't want the recoil or the stat drops from Superpower, so yep, lets me get off a Swagger because Vinny's got the moves like Jagger, confuses him, and luckily for me the next turn he is going to hurt himself in Confusion, which will let me get off a Foul Play, which will do a lot of damage to this guy. Had it not been a resisted hit, it probably would have OHKO'd him, which would have been pretty damn cool. But the way Foul Play works is it works on the opponent's attack stat as opposed to your own. But if you use it with a Dark type, you still get the same type attack bonus, which is why it's pretty good on Lipud, because it's really quick, it's Dark type, and you don't necessarily need any attack investment because, you know, it works on their attack as opposed to yours. My Lipud doesn't actually have any attack investment, it's max speed and max HP I think, so it works reasonably well. I think my other moves are like Taunt, Encore, yes, Taunt, Encore, Swagger and Foul Play, so it's a pretty decent set anyways. But bringing Shiftry here, from that kind of range of health, a Sucker Punch will be able to take him out, so that is a big load off my shoulders. And now it should just be a case of Shiftry going through the rest of his team, so Sucker Punch will take out the Swanna, and you'll notice the order he's bringing these out. Swanna's going to die to a Sucker Punch, Probopass will die to a Brick Break, but he's saving his Lipud for last because it has the priority in the form of Fake Out and then the Sucker Punch, so he's trying to get as much Life Orb recoil on me as he can before he brings that in, just to ensure the kill, or so he thinks. He goes for a Fake Out here, that will do a decent little chunk of damage I guess. It is a pretty useful move to have on a Lipud. Then he'll go for the Sucker Punch. I didn't go for my own Sucker Punch because I knew he'd go for that and it would fail if I did. But Shiftry lives, and I don't know how Shiftry keeps doing this, but he always manages to live on like 2 HP or 10 HP, just something that's like within Life Orb recoil damage. Don't know how, but he does. And Shiftry takes out the Lipud, so that was a nice 1-0 there. I still had the camera up left. I guess camera up would have been able to take the Lipud. It could probably live a Sucker Punch and then go for a Flamethrower, but yeah, that was a great game Warp. Some really interesting Pokemon used there. Especially like his Gothitelle set, and the Lipud was pretty interesting too. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.